here, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments down there, and we'll talk about it after the show. Right now, let's just get into the show because it's a long one today. We've talked a lot about terps and flavor and enhancing terps, but from two different perspectives. One of just taking, making a very healthy plant to express the terps inherent in that genetic, but also about how you can use different nutrients to flavor more to your particular taste. And the reason this clip is so long, because it's Scott and I just kind of chatting about it a little bit, but also he really gets into some specifics, and I may break this up into some smaller videos going down the road, but I want you to see the whole thing, and I'd like to know what you think about it. So watch the clip and I'll talk to you after. So this is the, Trip Soup. We're not going to get to this. Can you and Scott do a more in-depth talk about the different ratios of Herc, Triton, and Circes when running different strains for different terp profiles? Like if I am running for a sweeter strain versus if I'm doing a diesel or herb strain, or just run them and what will happen with their profiles. So that, yes and no, right?
I mean, I would say if you just hung, oh, go ahead.
You want to make the healthiest version of it, and then you'll get a lot of terps out of it. You're going to get a lot of flavor. And if you don't like the flavor, your easiest path is probably the genetics. But you can certainly do stuff with the nutrients to enhance different things.
And his question, I mean, it is like, I know my genetic, I know the potential, and I want to do X to it. What's my ratios? And it's a good question, and it is something you do kind of have to experiment with.
Yeah.
But my latest version of at least the bone meals, the Herc, Circe, and Tritons, and Aphrodite should just be a piece of this no matter what.
No matter what, you use some of that
sugar and the carbon piece.
It pushes those more, expresses those more better.
It really helps develop the oils that are going to make the trichomes, which are then going to express the terpenes a little bit stronger.
For that you put the thing on top of. Yeah, okay.
But what I would look at, so when I'm looking at those three main bone meal sources that we're really seeing, and really Pegasus too for the fruity piece, but let's just say just the bone meals he's talking about. Herc is my foundation.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm putting all my weight on. So my foundation is either going to be 1 to 4 tablespoons, depending on how aggressive my plant eats, how often they eat, and how hard I'm pushing.
And that's got very little to do with anything other than a way of growing a plant.
It's like if my terpene, the best part of the plant's terpenes right here, Herc is giving me this.
Yeah.
So it's everything in here, and then it's like, well, I know this is going to be my diesel.
Right.
Then I'm going to do a 1 Herc to 2 Tritons to really push the diesel and none of the, well, not none of, but a lot less of the broad spectrum and go for just the diesel. So I would do a 2 to 1 Tritons to Herc. If I was going for more of a full spectrum terpene profile with an enhanced diesel, then I'd go 2 Herc to 1.
Okay.
Basically, it's just adding in this one ingredient to enhance that a little bit more. Always keep your base of Herc at that schedule label. I mean, the feeding schedule level, because that is giving you the gassy terps, and it's giving you all the terps that plants wants to express, but all these other elements will bring in just enhance that one set of terpenes you're really looking to enhance.
Okay.
So fruity, flower, floral, Pegasus. Gas, fuel, diesel, ethanol, methanol, Tritons. Earthy, fruity, florally, but mostly earthy, Circes. Okay. I really want the floral and the sweetness, Pegasus. But Herc, foundation.
So you might like molasses barbecue sauce, and I might like mustard barbecue sauce, but we're still going to have the same ribs that we're going to put it on. You don't want to fight. If this one's gassy, you're not going to try to fight it to make it something else. But if you've got this thing and you're like, well, I like ketchup on my fries, I'm going to always have ketchup. And I'm having onion rings, ketchup. I'm having potato chips, ketchup. That's over here, you can kind of lean into that a little bit with those things you're talking about. But you wouldn't fight this genetic to make it that genetic.
If your plant's called blueberry and you want it to smell like diesel, it's not. So don't push Tritons on it, because it'll enhance something, but it's not going to make the berry, the fruity aromas come out as well as something like Pegasus and Herc and Circes. But if you're, same thing, if you're running OG diesel or diesel OG, it really comes down to, I don't want to try to make it florally and fruity. I'm going to pump the Tritons, but I'm going to keep the foundation of Herc in there. Herc, from the very get-go, it just enhanced the plant's health, the flavors, and the finished product. And then the addition of all these different elements over the last 10 years of developing them really kind of shine a spotlight on different terpenes in these plants. Sure. And it was by accident of, I don't want to use cows because they're very sweet and I feel bad about killing them, so kill fish for me instead. No problem. Go kill the fish. Give them that. And it's like,
the fish were already dead, but we're
what a difference. This is amazing. What a difference that. What does this type of bone meal do? What we never found is like chicken bones.
No, doesn't work.
They just don't dissolve right. They don't. I mean, they might be fine in potting soil, but they're not great for dissolving, which is really bizarre. Sorry.
Okay. Is there ever too much?
Oh yeah. I mean, too much what?
Terp. Too much flavor.
Oh, well, I mean, I think you could say that because that was only this much in that bag.
Smelling it.
Kicked you in the ass. So, I mean, I don't personally know. I think there's some people that find it to be annoying when it is so. It's like a Swisher Sweet when you're like, you just taste it on everything now, and it's like, to me, I love that I can taste my joint, but when I can't,
it doesn't get too sweet as much as it gets more complex in what it's still the same flavor. It's just
enhanced and deeper and well, I mean, it's literally wine connoisseur level of I taste on the front and then the notes of this on the back and I can that burnt it, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I mean, it really boils down to the consumer. I personally, I mean, like you said, you felt elevated after just inhaling those terpenes, and that was with zero active ingredient. Yeah. So if you can. To me, that's half our medicine. Yes. I can sit there and grind up, getting ready to smoke. If I'm like in crackhead day where I'm just like, I'm going to smoke joints all day long. I don't care what it smells like anymore because I'm just a crackhead.
I'm smoking, I'm done.
Yep. It's Saturday morning and
got nothing to do. You got to go work.
That's why I smoke that pine stuff. It makes you go, okay. But it's one of those where like at night, it's not about how high can I get before I go to bed. It's how can I put the pain away? How can I ease my mind from today's woes? And literally half of it's when I get done grinding and I'm just like huffing that because it's that fresh broken cannabinoid. Those terpenes just expressing. I find that to be almost as calming as the actual smoking of it. Yeah. And it's incredible, the enhancement. And it's not just, because I only pick up X amount of terpene profiles because of my face accident, but it's amazing. Even the ones I know I'm not smelling that I know are there because everybody else around is picking it up. I know those are medically helping me. Sure, because that's a chemical activated in my bloodstream and my thought process. But I can't say that there could ever be too much unless you're just offended by great tasting weed.
Okay, what do you think of that? Informative, entertaining, helpful? Did it spark any questions, comments, thoughts in your mind? Let's talk about this a little bit. I'd like to work into getting some more kits at OCGFAM841 that help you to get the products you need, the nutrients you need to do what you want to do in economical fashion. So let's talk about how we might do some kits. Let's talk about flavor in general. In the comments. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. It's the OCG Fam Show.